This week on Scrapheap Challenge, we thought we'd have a slalom course. But hey, why make things easy?
Let's put it underwater.
Welcome to Scrapheap Challenge, and more tomfoolery with a bench load of power tools and mountains of junk. This week our two teams of engineering hopefuls will be plumbing the depths of their bodging brilliance with a breathtakingly balmy underwater challenge.
This week's Mission Impossible is to build a two-man mini submarine.
The machines will have to take two divers wearing scuba gear around a twisting course, consisting of 6 gates that will force the mini-subs to depths of 5 metres. But there's no human power, that is kicking or pushing, allowed. So let's meet the teams.
From Aberdeen, we have the North Sea oilmen, the Dipsticks.
Come on. My name's Mike. The reason for the name Dipsticks is, of course, we work in the offshore oil industry. We've got Richard, who's actually not a bad welder. He can get a few bits of metal to stick together. We've got Ian, who's very much a pediatrician.
My name's Ian. I've worked with Mike for about 10 years. Very good engineer, very practical. Richard's the welder of the team.
My name's Rich. I can burn holes in anything. We've got Mike, team captain. We really have to keep him away from the heavy machinery. He can be really dangerous.
We have prepared extensively. We've been watching a lot of TV. We've been going out for meals quite a lot. If we build a machine that doesn't look like it's going to stay the distance, we will obviously have to resort to sabotage. Winning is, of course, everything, isn't it?
To help our teams with their underwater challenge, we've allowed them the help of an expert. For the Dipsticks, we've surfaced with Hugh Williams. Hugh designs complex underwater robots for fixing pipelines and oil rigs in the North Sea.
And for the first time on Scrapheap Challenge, a team who saw the show in America. The Nerds, all the way from the US of A.
Could you take a picture of us?
The New England Rubbish Deconstruction Society.
My name's Crash. I'm the captain because I have a PhD in about 15 patents in a lot of different areas. We're a very high-tech, electronic, internet-based team.
My name is Gio. I'm the chief guesstimator. I can just pull a wild-ass guess out of you-know-where, and things just happen to work right. We have Crash, the monstrously fast on his feet team captain. We have DP, the man who can put anything together from any collection of parts.
I'm Jeff, often known as DP. They tell me I blew my first fuse before I was walking. I can't not build or take apart something.
Our team philosophy is keep it simple, stupid, otherwise known as KISS, KISS.
Simple machines, they work. We've trained hard for this. We learn from the mistakes of other teams. We intend to play to win. That's our goal here.
To help the Nerds reach that goal, we've given them the undivided attentions of Duncan Maycroft, a specialist in the design of small electric tugs used to tow divers.
So, teams, clear the decks, man your stations. You have until sunset to use your watery wits to build a machine that will take to the deep. A submarine!
Oh no.
As ever, you'll have 10 hours to complete the challenge, starting from when the ball hits the bottom of the Scrapheap time machine.
Okay, ready?
Go!
Go! So the teams have to build a two-man submarine to tackle our twisting course. But how will they go about it?
Well, the gauntlets are down, it's a submarine! Oh, God! Right, so...
Underwater engineers, the Dipsticks, are feeling right at home with this challenge. Their first consideration is the seating arrangements.
Are you talking about someone sitting inside that thing or sitting on top of it?
Inside, I would say. A tube with a cutout for the guys to get in, because you want to get them down low in it. So what are we talking about? We're talking about something I would have thought about
3.5 metres long, 3 metres.
It's reasonably big. Yeah. Reasonably big.
3.5 metres, something like that.
Yeah, have to be pretty big.
So we're looking for the chassis.
They're looking at a massive submarine, but how are they going to power it? Expert Hugh wants to try an unusual idea, air propulsion. But the dipsticks fancy electrics.
A couple of batteries, 3 or 4 batteries.
Well, I think, hang on, the thing is with the old batteries is sealing it.
Yeah.
I mean, another alternative, air.
Okay, so we've got 2 options. We've got like an electrical system, which we reckon is basically going to give us a lot of problem sealing. The air system, which, assuming we can get this air motor, sounds like, you know, it's going to be the way to go, isn't it?
The dipsticks have decided to go with air power. A large compressed air cylinder connected to an air motor will power the sub. It's going to be big, but because there's no electrics, they won't have to worry about leaks.
We do have a buoyancy problem.
Their American opponents, the nerds, have no expertise in underwater design. How will they get on?
You ever done this before?
I have.
Great!
Right, so what we're looking for is a diver's toe, yeah? Something that's going to pull you through the water.
Yep.
Yeah. One diver here, one diver there. Yeah? If you have some sort of handle maybe welded around the side of the container somehow, it moves all the way around, we're going to be able to get an upward and a downward movement. So a simple movement of that in the water.
So this isn't a ride-on, this is a drag behind?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The nerds are going for a diver toe. They've decided to power it with electrics, so they'll have to make sure it doesn't leak.
Duncan makes these machines for a living, and it should be plain sailing. If only the nerds would let him get a word in edgeways.
We're likely to find.
Oh, here's the easy way.
Each of us has 2 arms.
Weld plates over the ends of the air vents.
Build it up with oil. And lift it open to sea pressure.
Expert Duncan's going to be in for a hard time, and if he's not careful, the lunatics could take over the asylum.
We need a prop. That's going to be critical. We need a motor. That's going to be critical. We need a battery. That's going to be critical.
Yep.
The battery has to fit in the tube.
Prop motor.
That's going to be really critical.
Prop motor, battery, and tube.
You're on the bike. You're on your feet. Let's go for it.
And go scrounge, dudes.
So the transatlantic tussle begins as the teams head out to see what gems they can find in our junkyard. The dipsticks are off to a flying start and appear to have found what looks like a ballistic missile.
It's fiberglass, it's got a hole in.
While the dipsticks have got hold of an 18-foot monster, the nerd software expert Jeff thinks that 3 foot of plastic gas pipe could make the perfect body for the team's diver tug.
I see a propane tank.
Go get it!
Think of that. It's got it then.
The dipsticks are feeling good about their first find. Time to check out the plan.
So we're going for the air motor, and hopefully if we can find one, which is a big crucial thing, we'll just slap it in there, get a bit of buoyancy on it, trim it up.
You'll be laughing
That's it. Oh.
With no electrics, the Brits' plan seems bulletproof. They already have the perfect streamlined hull. All they need now is a compressed air cylinder and an air motor to blast their way to victory.
The nerds are not in the least worried about the shocking combination of water and electricity and are grabbing every battery in sight.
I've never seen a board with more weird stuff written on it and lists and goodness. What's your main thing to get? I suppose
The motor and the prop are absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Without that, we're nowhere.
Yeah.
We need a battery. But, in a junkyard?
Hello. Look what we have here.
So Crash, what I'm vaguely interested in is how on earth a team of Americans ended up on Scrapheap in England.
Well, Jeff happened to see the TV show, and he sent out email.
Right.
Now, I'd actually only met him electronically. I'd never actually.
Oh, I see. You haven't actually met him before.
I had never physically laid eyes on the fellow until the first time we got together. So we were a new age internet team.
So pi r squared. That's 12 square decimeters, and it's 14 decimeters long. So
despite leaving their desktop computers 3,000 miles away, the nerds are still packing enough megabytes to calculate their way out of any corner.
Decimeters in radius.
Divided by 2, 17.5 radius.
So it's 175 liters.
Ooh,
Oh, is it a bomb? What have they found?
It's a submarine, I think, actually.
They've got their own ready-made submarine. It's ridiculous.
No, what it is, it's a fuel tank from an aeroplane. A drop tank, as they're called, I think.
It's great.
What about the nerds?
Well, the nerds are not going to be inside. They're going to be outside, just hanging on the
Oh,
back.
right. Excellent. Shall I tell you who I feel sorry for in that team? And that's the expert. Because basically it's a team of experts.
Horrendously clever people.
1.07 volts, that's a deader.
Calculations complete, our American super boffins test their batteries to find out which has a full 12-volt charge.
10.72, dead but maybe rechargeable. Yeah. 12.31, this guy's hot. Here's our power.
Do you need any more batteries, or do we have enough?
We have enough batteries, we still need a motor,
The hunt is now on for an electric motor that will run on the Nerd's 12-volt batteries.
This one's got a motor in it.
But washing machines run off 240-volt main supply, not 12-volt batteries.
This is an AC motor, Jeff. Italians.
Let's try that washing machine.
Boy, they really hide the starter motors on these diesels in very hard to find places. We're so screwed on a motor.
And starter motors will run too fast to spin their sub's propeller.
What else has a motor that's ideal for us?
Any luck with the air motor? Have you seen anything at all there, Rich?
The Dipsticks' hunt for a power supply is proving far more fruitful. They've come up with an air motor that last saw active service, mixing ingredients in a cake factory.
I think I might have found an air motor. I'll bring it in.
Exceedingly good news for the Dipsticks.
That looks good.
The air motor they've found turns when a jet of high-pressure air is blasted onto the vanes inside the casing. The vanes turn the shaft, which will turn the propeller. But to make it work, the Dipsticks need to find a high-pressure air supply. And Ian has the perfect answer, a giant compressed air cylinder.
I think this is the beast. This is what we want. I'm your toes.
The heavy air cylinder is the last piece in the Dipsticks' air power jigsaw. All the team now need to do is find a place to put it all. And it looks like Hugh and Mike have got their work cut out.
To help chart the progress of our two teams, we've asked Steph Merry, who works on submarine designs for the Royal Navy, to be our judge.
I'm so thrilled with the Dipsticks team. They've actually got something that looks like a submarine to me. I had this sort of fancy it would be a long thing that goes underwater like that. So, what do you think of these two designs so far? I mean, Dipsticks are going for, it's not really a water scooter, that one, is it? They're going to sit inside
that is it's submersible, really.
Submersible?
Yeah, that's what I would call it.
Right.
And they'll sit inside it. And
it's going to have an air-powered engine, which is beyond me at the moment.
Well, I like the idea of
you
that.
do? You don't have to seal it. I mean, it's just...
No, well, that is the big advantage of this. It doesn't matter. Air and water are flying together.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas this one, if you get water in it...
The nerds have talked a great deal about sealing and pressures and...
I think sealing is going to be a big issue for them.
Yes, yeah.
But the nerds need to find a body for their sub before they can begin to think about sealing it. And finding just the right watertight tube is proving to be a problem.
That is one huge tank!
The body of their diver tug must not only keep their electrics dry, but also keep them afloat or buoyant.
Greek philosopher Archimedes discovered the principle of buoyancy during one of his many baths. Archimedes worked out that the amount by which things get lighter, or their buoyancy, depends on the amount of water they push out of the way or displace. Things get 1 kilogram lighter for every litre of water they displace. This explained why both Archimedes and his lesser-known cousin Stavros could float, even though the philosopher was a full 10 kilos heavier. Our contestants will have to balance the amount of buoyancy with the weight of their subs. If they make a sub that's too buoyant, it will pop up to the surface like a cork. Too heavy, and it will sink like a stone. What they need is a sub that floats, but under the surface.
We need some sort of pressure hull,
right,
to get our buoyancy, because you have the weight of your battery and motor, and those are dropping you down.
Yeah.
Then you have the volume of water you're displacing, and that's lifting you upward.
Right.
And the two have to be equal. Otherwise, you bob to the surface, you can't make the down gates.
Yeah.
Or you hit the bottom and you can't make the high gates.
Yeah.
So you need it to be balanced.
Yeah. So which piece of tubing is going to give the nerds just enough buoyancy to balance the weight of their motor and battery? Time for some calculations. The massive propane tank they found will give them too much buoyancy.
254 litres out. That can't be right.
So it's down to human supercomputer Geo and his tape measure to find the perfect tube.
I'll get the other piece of yellow pipe.
Oh, yeah. Got it.
It's even got little scuba diver handles on the side. Look.
Okay. Oh, man.
I see it happening. I see the plan forming.
Meanwhile, the buoyancy plans of British bodgers, the dipsticks, have hit a snag. They've lost their pen.
Something right through. Anybody seen any pens around?
Oh, we've got a bit of a pen deficit, haven't we?
Yeah, pen problem.
The nerds have more computers and calculators than I've ever seen. The dipsticks have got a biro that they've lost. So their calculations are slightly more floppy.
Great history of Scottish engineering being maintained.
Unfazed by their lack of computing power, veterans of the deep, the dipsticks, realise that these chip oil cans can be used to give them all the buoyancy they need. They're simply going to stuff enough of these cans inside the sub to stop them sinking.
But there's a problem with the oil cans. The sub will have to dive to depths of at least 5 metres, where the pressure is 1.5 times that at the surface, enough to crush the flimsy cans. If the cans are crushed, then their volume will reduce. The sub will then lose buoyancy and sink without trace. The dipsticks have fitted their cans with bicycle valves to pump them up. But the question is, will they take the pressure or will they explode?
10 psi.
10.
Okay.
Okay, hold it there. I wouldn't go any further. Excellent.
The propane tank Geo found is too heavy to make the body for their mini-sub, but according to his calculations, it will make a perfect nose cone.
Yo! Take a look at this. Watch.
Oh, I'm spaced. I measured this pipe. This was long ago when you guys were working with this pipe. I'm an idiot. It's perfect.
It's perfect for this pipe.
Oh.
It's bogus on that pipe.
Will this pipe slide right inside that pipe? We could.
No.
No?
Tried that too.
We are hosed. I just wasted a lot of time.
We're not hosed. Is there anything else? Is there anything else out there we can make a front shroud with?
I'll go look.
Do it.
So Geo's off to save face and find a new nose.
Time to check out the opposition.
In your real jobs, do you use things like this at all?
Yeah, just like that, actually, yeah. They cost millions of pounds, but they look absolutely identical to that, yeah. Well, that's well, we use remotely operated vehicles, which are kind of expensive pieces of kit. But
remotely operated,
yeah.
So by someone back at base?
Someone up on the surface, and they have no men in them, so they're just with hydraulic manipulators and cameras, they're ROVs. So
not half so much fun if no one's in them, though.
No, not really.
You don't have any little James Bond gadgets?
Don't
like
have any
not
any real James Bond gadgets, no, because the depths are usually operating in it's very specialised diving, so it's just diving bells and guides, you know.
To solve the nerds' problem of how to seal the front of their sub, Geo's trying everything, including the kitchen sink.
Oh, dude, you are a god! Oh, that is a thing of joy.
So Geo returns triumphant to the scrap heap.
This is spiffy.
And Duncan, the nerds' underwater expert, is demoted to sink duty. The dipsticks are still hacking away at their reluctant submarine.
Teams, you have 4 hours remaining. 4 hours remaining. Thank you.
Expert Duncan has been plugging away at the sink for over 2 hours, but danger lurks as Geo gets his hands on a tape measure again.
Gentlemen, this piece of pipe slides over the other piece. Did you not try it?
To do what?
Did you not try sliding this over the nose? You said it didn't fit, right?
In terms of?
It exactly fits.
Crash had told Geo that this larger tube didn't fit over the smaller one.
1, 2, 3, up. Yep. One more. Up. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, up.
Bingo.
Good. Perfect.
Pin it.
Duncan's sink no longer fits. With the larger tube now at the front, it's back to Geo's nose cone. 2 hours work down the drain.
Thinking that too?
Yo.
So after over half a day's work, the nerds have managed to stick together 2 pieces of plastic gas pipe. It might be the perfect lightweight hull, but there's still no sign of an electric motor.
Doctor of Robotics Geo turned super scavenger is on the hunt again. After his sink, what next?
What? Whoa! Guess what I found?
It's the perfect 12-volt electric motor from a forklift truck.
You did good, Geo.
Smoke test?
Now the other side.
Over the wall, the dipsticks are trying to work out how they're going to steer their 2-man torpedo.
Do we want to have a rudder, or do we want to just move the prop?
Rudder.
You want to have a rudder, yeah.
You happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dipsticks have decided that the best way to steer their giant sub is to use a rudder. The rudder disturbs the flow of water and pulls the back of the sub to one side or the other, guiding the submarine to the left or right. Using the same principle, the dipsticks are planning to use what's called a dive plane to control the up and down movement. Angle the dive plane down, and the water flowing over it pushes the back of the submarine down, tilting the nose upwards. The submarine now climbs towards the surface.
Time to put theory into practice.
That'll be the rudder.
The dipsticks whip their rudder and propeller assembly together in record time. The size of the rudder on the back of the dipsticks machine.
Intuitively, that looks too big to me. I can see it'd be very difficult to move it.
Yeah.
If you think of the water pressing against that large area of rudder. I do wonder whether they've done any calculations.
I don't think they've done a lot of calculations this side. I think they have the exact opposite of the nose.
We have a completely different approach. So this is sort of bolts and braces.
Yeah.
More academic on the nerd side.
Yes, yeah. So academic that Superbrain Geo's brought the university library with him. Binary nuclear fission for sub-builders, anyone?
It's 1 hydrogen per electron, right?
Yeah, you're going to get a coulomb of hydrogen. A coulomb is 10 to the minus...
A coulomb of hydrogen per coulomb of...
Per ampere.
Yeah, okay, I'll figure it out. So it's 1 to 1.
What are they on about?
I need how many coulombs in a mole? Do you know it?
No, I do not. Look up a mole, look up a coulomb divide.
Yeah, I know!
With no handheld computing device, Jeff, the loose atom of the pack, has been totally outclassed and wanders off to try and find something that might actually be useful.
Crash, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
As captain of one of the least captainable teams that we've ever seen, how are you getting on in terms of maintaining an element of control?
Control? This is like herding cats.
Hurting cats?
Herding cats.
Oh, herding.
You know, like herding sheep?
Yeah.
Well, try that with cats sometimes. See how it works.
Who's your money on there, Steph?
It's interesting. The nerds have the more conventional and the simpler concept. So they ought to be able to make it work. I'm not sure whether they have the skill to do that. This one, with the dipsticks, is much more complicated. I think I'll put my money on them because they seem to know what they're doing. They've got some very practical ideas.
But at the moment, the dipsticks have it.
I reckon that's it, just about ready to go, Hugh. Not much else, just a power supply, some plumbing, some controls, up and down, left, right, buoyancy, a couple of divers, yeah. Plenty of time.
Ian?
Yeah?
There's a bit of discussion about this. It's
about?
lovely, it's a very nice shape.
Yeah? But it's in the wrong place.
In the dipsticks camp, there's a problem with the handlebars. Theoretician Ian has worked out a one-man steering system that needs 2 hands to control the rudder, 1 hand to move a lever connected to the dive plane, and a 4th to control the motor. So after a quick redesign, they've realised that foot pedals guiding the rudder are the answer.
Right, flip it out, move it down.
Meanwhile, the nerds are hitting their only good motor with a hammer
We could have this up between us.
and practicing their dance steps. Their diver's toe doesn't need a rudder. All Geo and Duncan need do is coordinate their body movements to point it in the right direction. Tango, anybody?
That's true.
The first people to try building mini-subs were on a far more dangerous mission than our teams.
This is the only footage of a top-secret operation that was carried out during the Second World War, known as the Human Torpedo. For our teams, controlling their mini-subs will be crucial to winning the challenge. But for these men, it was a matter of life and death. The 2 divers were expected to undertake incredibly dangerous missions. Of the 30 men who were chosen to man the Human Torpedoes, only 6 returned. Petty Officer Len Berry was one of the men who piloted these machines into enemy harbours.
They were hell to handle because the Italians call them biali, which is pigs.
Right.
A ton of metal with a propulsion of about 3.5 knots. They were designed, as if the batteries were up to standard, to a 10-mile range, so that was 10 miles in and 10 miles out.
Right.
And of course we never came out again anyway because we always finished up ashore.
Once under the enemy ship, a massive bomb was detached from the front of the Chariot and magnetically fixed to the hull.
But of course there was one thing that often used to happen: you'd get the buoyancy correct for the whole load.
Yeah.
When you'd taken the head off,
the buoyancy
was different. Yeah. So you would put your hands out. Where the devil's that machine gone? Of course it had gone down on its own because the buoyancy wasn't right.
The nerds have finally figured out their buoyancy calculations and with just 3 hours to go, have finally decided to actually start building something. Let's go to work. A piece of fencing is turned into a protective shroud for the propeller.
Excellent.
An old moped wheel becomes a grab ring for the divers to hold on to. And with a bit of brute force, Geo's nose cone is finally put into place.
I'll drive that on. I'll just put the battery in it now.
I don't know, Sarah, will be fun.
Oh, that is a thing of joy.
The nerds now face the challenge they've been planning for all day. How to seal their sub and keep the water away from their precious motor, which according to the nerds is a perfect fit.
If I was a molecule of water, though, I reckon I could just about creep in there.
Duct tape.
I'm really unhappy about you being 5 metres underwater held together by a bit of duct tape.
Observe now as the crazy Americans seal massive holes.
The nerds plan to simply push the motor in the end of their narrow tube and wrap it up with sticky tape.
Teams, you have 1 hour construction time remaining. 1 hour remaining, teams. That's all.
With time running out, it's all hands on deck for the North Sea oil men.
Go over the top.
The nerds call a meeting to prioritise the most urgent tasks. Jeff's priority is a waterproof switch to turn on the electric motor.
Yeah, I've started on the switch, but my hand is cramping.
Skip the switch at this point. I think we can ship this. The switch is actually low priority.
Well, I mean, it's a matter of wiring it now. It's now...
Propulsion. What do we got?
As the dipsticks forge ahead, Jeff ignores Crash and continues with his switch for the motor. On goes the compressed air cylinder. That'll be the compressed air regulator.
This,
Jeff, I keep telling you, give up on that. We don't have time for
This
it.
goes to the battery.
And a control lever from a digger to start the beast.
It's looking good.
This and this go to either side of this block.
Jeff, we don't have time.
It's done.
We really don't.
Okay.
We really don't.
Right, what we're going with then? This on the neutral, yeah? On the common.
Looks like
long
it's
enough?
just not Jeff's
No,
day.
it's not.
With half an hour to go, time to check up on the dipsticks.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Easy, Tiger.
Both ways, though.
Yeah, forward and back, yeah.
Both ways. They got forward
They
and
can do
reverse.
3-point turns.
Well, look at the length of this thing.
You
don't
need to
think
do
we're
3-point
gonna-
turns. Maybe 5. It is remarkable to come across a Scrapheap built machine that basically has an engine that works. I mean, I find that quite extraordinary.
And that's been
It's usually
tested.
this time of the day where the sound of... Yeah. Oh, it's very comfy.
You won't break it, will you?
All right, Moneypenny. Let's go.
We've just got the CD player to get anywhere away.
So, right, so we've got foot controls.
Power steering and everything.
And then this
That's
one
up
is
and
doing me up and down.
Yeah, that's you in the...
That's forward and reverse, yeah.
And you got forward and reverse. It's so cool.
It's totally classy.
Oh.
Hang on, hold on. Whoa!
The feed screws.
As the nerds slip further behind, Geo finds time to sample the delights of local British cuisine. A good curry.
Excellent.
While Duncan and Crash reveal how they plan to turn on the motor. Without Jeff's switch.
This is your contactor.
Right.
You happy with that?
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Because I'm not going to change it now.
Any more technical than that?
The nerds plan to simply hotwire their sub by touching 2 live wires together. Underwater. Let's hope they know what they're doing, because otherwise our bearded Americans might unwittingly have developed the first underwater electric chair.
Okay.
Ow, 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 ow.
Thank you.
Stop.
Okay. Try now.
Finally, a chance for Jeff to contribute to the team.
Is it a rotary? Oh, my goodness, that's better. What sort of impact was that?
convincing.
I think there might have been a few kilograms over there.
A few kilograms over.
Don't jump on anything without thinking really carefully again.
Unfortunately, Jeff's moment of madness has cracked all the welds.
Did it feel good?
Very good.
As the minutes tick away, the nerds still find time to drill even more holes in their so-called watertight submarine. 3 minutes.
No! Don't lift that.
3 minutes construction time remaining. The nerds still have to fit a guard to shield the propeller.
And the dipsticks have to stuff as much buoyancy as they can into their sub to counteract the weight of their massive compressed air cylinder.
You better string, take that one away.
Tape measure, anybody?
Can you do that in 1 minute?
Oh yeah, no problem. Here we go.
Still time to drill more holes.
1,000. 2,000.
In the last seconds, the dipsticks worry they haven't got enough buoyancy and add some chunks of foam.
I'll speed up, cheat on myself. 15, 16, 17,
19! 20!
Okay, gentlemen, time is up. That is it. Down your tools. Eat, drink, be merry. For tomorrow, you die. Dive. I meant dive. Sorry. Dive.
Woohoo!
Good job. Hey! All the way from America.
We're here at Dera Hasler, where they try out some of the most top-secret frigates, submarines and torpedoes. But they ain't seen nothing yet.
There you go.
Each team is allowed 1 practice run.
Hey, pray.
Just take it easy when it goes in, because it'll be a bit buoyant.
First on the starting blocks are the dipsticks, with their compressed air-powered underwater Chariot. With no electrics, they're not worried about leaks. But have they got the buoyancy right?
Not bad, eh?
It's looking good. It's not sunk yet.
Yeah, it's in the process, though.
The test is also the first chance to see how their rudder and dive planes will manoeuvre this giant beast round our twisting course.
I'll be monitoring the action from up here in the bridge with Steph Merry, our judge and ultimate adjudicator.
I'll be keeping a closer eye, watching out for any foul play.
The Dipsticks divers, Hugh and Ian, wait for the signal from the underwater loudspeakers, whilst their teammates, Mike and Rich, join us to watch the underwater action via closed-circuit TV.
Stand by, stand by. Beautifully down. Down. Right down.
The Dipstick sub does a passable impression of the Titanic and heads straight to the bottom. Reverse is working, and it makes a lot of pretty bubbles. But there's definitely something wrong with the buoyancy. Hugh looks for any excess weight he can remove to make their sub lighter, and he appears to be starting with Ian.
The driver's getting back in.
I think when divers use slightly less bubbles, it means they're thinking, doesn't it?
Having shed a few pounds, the sub is off.
They need to actually get enough speed for the planes to work.
Yeah, to get himself up.
And the trouble is they've got to depress the stern, and it can't depress.
It can't depress because it's on the floor.
That's right.
Ah.
And they have no mechanism to lift the bow.
Hugh still can't get it off the bottom. To lift the nose, he has to first push the back down using the dive plane, but the back is as low as it can go.
It's coming up.
He is coming up now, but he's touching a gate, which is unfortunate, but and he's going the wrong way through the gate.
But at least getting motion is good.
Yeah.
Because he will then get some manoeuvrability.
The Dipsticks shed yet more weight, but it's too much. Their test run over, they've seen the bottom of the tank and they've seen the top of the tank. They just haven't seen the bit in between.
First attempt, I mean, a test. Really.
Yeah.
Initial results.
Yeah.
What are the initial results?
Went very much as we expected. Yeah. We're quite happy with that. We expected to be upside down on the bottom. Actually,
right, well,
but it's landed the right way up.
Yeah.
Hugh tries to find the source of their buoyancy problems.
The drums okay? One of the drums at the front collapsed, look.
The extra air they pumped in to keep the oil drums from collapsing has leaked out. With the oil drum crushed, the Dipsticks lost enough buoyancy to send them straight to the bottom.
It's now time for the Nerds test run. Their electric diver tug, held together with tape, is lined up on the starting platform. After so many calculations, surely the Nerds have got their buoyancy right.
Ah, you didn't expect that. Yeah.
Jeff and Crash have opted to stay out of the water and join us to watch the action.
Divers, when you are ready, start. Start.
The Nerds have got that sinking feeling too and head straight for the bottom.
Oh, they're sinking.
Going down a bit.
So much for all those calculations. Time to lose some weight. With a lighter load, it's now time to attempt the first gate.
Oh yes.
Oh, much better. Much better.
Kick.
A little bit of kicking.
A little bit?
A little bit of... really quite a lot of kicking.
Excuse me.
Human power is not allowed, and they're going to have to watch their step or they'll lose points in the challenge. Time for gate 2, and they're giving the crawl a whole new meaning.
I like this sneaky walking along the bottom with the legs.
End of the Nerds test run, and they've seen all of the bottom of the pool that there is to see. Time to find out what went wrong. It's clear the sub has a leak.
The motor didn't move anyway.
Water pouring out of every orifice.
There is some water coming out of it. There's definitely water coming out of it.
But do you reckon your engine's still dry in there?
No, but it doesn't care.
It's not going to care too much.
It'll go around again.
Do you reckon?
Yep.
Despite everyone's fears, those brainy nerds knew all along that water wouldn't short out their 12-volt electrics. Main supply at 240 volts is extremely dangerous when it comes into contact with water. But the Nerd sub is only running on 12 volts, so the electrics have survived their dunking. But the water flooding into the sub did make it too heavy, which is why they sank.
Have we learnt anything about duct tape, do you think?
So time for some final adjustments before the challenge. The Nerds are laying their hands on all the extra buoyancy they can find to try and keep their leaky sub from sinking, whilst the Dipsticks are making a few vital modifications to their chip oil cans.
We've now put some more sealant around the top there and give them a bit of a pressure test.
Oh, yeah.
So we get them in there, and hopefully that's going to keep the tanks intact, because of course as soon as they crush, they become smaller, displace less water.
The challenge for the teams is to pilot their subs around our underwater obstacle course. The teams will get 100 points for passing through a gate cleanly, but they'll lose 50 points if they touch it. A harsh 100 penalty points will be awarded for using any muscle power, that is, kicking. Nerds, take note.
OK, teams, now remember, it's not a race against time. It is all about winning points. So, good luck, Nerds, good luck, Dipsticks, and prepare to submerge your vehicle. Dipsticks, go when you are ready.
Go when you are ready. The Dipsticks charge for the first gate.
They're going horizontally.
Hey, look!
Wow!
Hey. Straight and level.
Look at that.
They need to go faster.
They're going down a bit.
They need to go faster. Come on. Will it make it?
Oh, well, it's going through.
Will it?
Keep it going.
Yes!
Yes!
50 points.
100 points for passing through the gate, but minus 50 for hitting it.
Yeah!
They opt to go over gate 2, no points. But line up perfectly for gate 3. Disaster strikes. Their massive rudder is caught on the gate, pushing the nose down. Sumsman Ian thinks it's a buoyancy problem and chucks out some weight. The sub now bobs to the surface.
Hugh, can you throw some buoyancy out and just get down through that gate even for 50 points?
There's a chunk of loose buoyancy behind you.
More adjustments to the buoyancy. But again, they've overdone it. Once again, the Dipstick sub is destined to scrape the bottom. Back to gate 2, and under it this time. But they're going the wrong way. No points. But they are headed straight for gate 5.
Wait, 5.
5 is the right way.
Yes.
And that is definitely an under gate.
Excellent
Keep going,
thinking.
guys.
Excellent thinking.
Yeah.
100 points.
But that was a clean gate, though, by my reckoning. It looked pretty good.
Absolutely, you've got a guaranteed clean gate.
Time to lose some weight. One last shot at gate 6, but the sub rises out of control. It's the end of the line for the Dipsticks.
Give them a round of applause.
150 points scored. The Nerds prepare for their run. They've given up hope of sealing their sieve-like sub and decide to adjust the buoyancy once it's full of water. It's a sneaky plan, but it seems to be working.
Nerds, you are free to start when you are ready.
Start when you are ready.
They're off. They need just 200 points to win. The Nerds machine is now perfectly balanced and glides through gate 1 for 100 points.
Oh, look at that.
That is beautiful. That is
Look at
beautiful.
that.
Keep your legs still, guys.
But what are those legs doing? 100 penalty points off for kicking. Back to 0. They're through gate 2 and it's a clean gate, but Steph's being ruthless.
Kick!
Was that steering or kicking?
Oh, that was a kick.
100 penalty points, and they're back to naught again. Gate 3, the Nerds' waterlogged electrics are holding up. 100 points.
Look at that.
Gate 4, and it looks smooth. $200 points, and they've won. But hold on, Kathy's spotted some foul play with the legs. Time for some strong-arm tactics from the captain.
Stop kicking. If you move your legs, I'll break them for you.
Well, that seems to have done the trick. Yep, definitely they're obeying orders. Oh, and they're under gate 5. They are under gate 5 beautifully without touching the floor. What a gorgeous sight. They've won. They've got enough points, and they're just now gliding through the last gate. Like a beautiful sea creature. Oh, that's fantastic. The Nerds have won.
6 clear gates, gentlemen. 6 clear gates. We have 6 clear gates. Now we have applause.
The Nerds have won.
Gentlemen, thank you.
We're coming back.
Next week on Scrapheap Challenge, the teams have to harness the power of the wind. Bodging together scaffold poles and old car parts. Come on! The teams have to build themselves a windmill.
Below the waves, too high above them, Mark Evans sets himself a tough task next. Building a helicopter from scratch in a chopper is born.